We've already established that Jake lies, and he has lied about his prison background. But if you listen to the details of he and Rambo's relationship, you'll see that they were probably closer than Jake would like for us to know. Listen to how Jake describes his dealings with Rambo.
I had another brother in the dorm named Rambo. Shout out to Rambo, free Rambo. Now, me and Rambo were always really, really close. Me and Rambo used to slap box. Rambo doesn't look big until he comes out the shirt and he's ripped. And Rambo used to bust me every single time we slap boxed. Every time, you know what I mean? I could taste blood in my mouth.
Or would just walk off. But instead, Rambo stood over him and began to fondle himself. At some point, Rambo reaches out and removes the victim's coat from over his head so he's able to see Rambo and what Rambo is doing. At this point, the guy jumps up and attempts to fight Rambo. Rambo then pulls out a knife and begins stabbing him. And according to the report, he stabbed him multiple times.
Guy must have tried to do something sexual, because it is very, very common for the older inmates, pretty much any inmate, to prey on the younger inmates, especially the white.
When you hear this and you think about how Jake describes his relationship with Rambo, it's pretty obvious what was going on between these two. Like I said, if you've been to prison, you know. Jake would eventually admit that at some point he and Rambo ended up on bad terms.
Or it could be he was in a full-blown relationship. I don't know. I want to see Jake respond to this. I'm definitely going to deep dive and look at more of their story. But just from, the little snippets and stuff that we watched and the little part of the video we watched, it does seem a lot of suspects, especially with Rambo having them charges of, stabbing a man because he didn't want to be part of your little freaking nastiness out there on the streets while you was asleep. So it's definitely some weirdo stuff going on, even though Jake didn't have nothing to do with that incident, with him, beating his meat over some hobo, you feel me? And then stabbing him because he didn't want to be a part of it.